Welcome to the CEN show, a platform where we learn from the world community. I'm your host, Rashaki Maskani, and on the panel this evening we have Professor Rahh, we got Brother Mike, and Lynda Shorter's coming in. We have Brother Mshinda. Tonight we have our series, The Natural Way with Dr. Sharita, and we have Dr. Sharita Yazid, and she's going to take questions. I had a few people send me questions, and I'm going to do those questions first. I'm going to give those to her, and then we'll go to the panel for additional questions after that. But before we get started with all of that, we want to get an update on what's going on with New Body, the New Body organization. Welcome,
yes,
Dr.
peace and
Sharita.
love. Thank you. Peace and
Thanks
love,
for being
family.
here.
Peace and love.
Thank you for having me. So we are celebrating 50 years, 1976 to 2026. As of November 1st, we're doing a year-long celebration. And we starting off actually tomorrow. We're starting from the 23rd to the 31st of October, which is our annual week, Customer Appreciation Week. So we have products up to 25% off. So if you're in Compton or in the LA area, come on through, and support. We're New Body Products is a herbal company. We've been and we have over 130 products. Sorry, I gotta get my foot straight here. And we are a network marketing company. So we have people who can sign up who are distributors. They sell, they buy at a wholesale price, like 35% off the cost. And then if they do $100 or more in a month, they get bonuses. So we have, I would say our top distributor is actually Simply Wholesome. Besides, what we sell ourselves at our store. And then we also have New Earth. So this is the Goss Corporation in general. So New Earth is the store, the health food store that's been around just as long. And it was founded by the late, great Dr. Paul Goss and my mother, Mrs. Alzonia Goss. And it's been ran by the family. I mean, I think I was 6 years old, when we started. And I started working officially with the company from the age of 15, part-time, and then went full-time, I think, when I was about, I don't know, 20? I think around 19 or 20 years old. So I've been with the company ever since. We also have New Body Ghana, New Earth Ghana. And that's been there, let's see, we started in 2009. Since 2009, we've been in Ghana. So, right. And so to bring up to date, we're we bought a building in 2020, and we're in the process of renovating it, but we're still waiting on some approval for funds from the bank. So we've been in a search for that, for investors and things like that. So we need $2 million to go ahead and make this into our Goss Wellness Village, which is going to include the New Body Products administration office where we do the shipping. It's going to include the manufacturing, because we do our own manufacturing. That's the reason why I'm so tired, because I've been mixing herbs, encapsulating, using the machines and doing stuff I haven't done in a long time. So yeah, it's and we are hiring. We are looking for machinists, and yeah, so we're our goal is to be in the space next year for our to celebrate our 50th anniversary in the space. So like I said, we are raising funds. One of the ways we're raising funds is through selling different promo items like, T-shirts and pens and bags. We're getting people to sign up, doing a membership drive, so you can sign up to become a distributor. And it's $60 to sign up for the regular distributorship, and then you pay $10 a year to keep your distributorship. And we don't force any minimums and things like that, but if you do a minimum of $100 or more within a calendar month, then you do get bonuses, anywhere from 5% up to 23%. So if you do $1,000, you're getting $230 back. Also, we have a lifetime membership, which is $120. And then it's just lifetime, there's no renewal. And then you also get 10% off in our store. So it's one of the ways that we looking to raise, because the banks, we already know the story when it comes down to the banks and dealing with Black business, Black women in particular, and then being in the hood. You have a lot of different, marks against you. So we're being very aggressive and letting them know that we can do it. We can pay back the loan, and even in a shorter period of time, based on, what we're already doing. And of course, we get into that space. We're looking to make this an iconic space in Compton, in Los Angeles, in California, the United States, on the planet. We want everybody to know. Everybody knows a lot about Compton, but we want them to know, all these different jewels and stuff that we have here, because we've been part of the community for a long time, and we've helped so many people, and we've been learning and growing together, with this community. We have people. I have a girl that worked for us. She's three generations. Her grandmother came, then her mother, then now she's working for us. So we have lots of testimonies, and we've always been. My mother always said that we didn't get into to make money. We got into to help people, and then the money will come. So we always been able to sustain ourselves. We have land in North Carolina, which is actually where my mom is. We have about 500 acres out there where we do retreats. And then we also have Arizona. We have 800 acres out there where we do retreats. It's just that it's been a while since we did retreats. We're doing renovations out there. It's also where we have Dr. Goss buried as well. So anybody want to go into his resting place, then you're always welcome, to go down with us whenever we do go. We go to pick beans annually in July for one of our products, and then we also have our chaparral that's out there where we have volunteers to come through to pick. We have a house that we're fixing the last of our plumbing in a few weeks, and then the Eden, we call it Eden, in Arizona, and then that will be ready to go. That's near Douglas, Arizona. It's about 2 hours from Tucson. So usually people fly into Tucson and then drive in, or they just drive here. From LA, it's about a 10-hour drive. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and a lot of the weight is on myself, which is why I just feel like I'm just looking tired all the time. But it's a labor of love. But also, I'm not afraid to ask for help. We do need people to come through to help us, whether they're volunteering or becoming one of our employees. So yeah, so thank you for letting me share that.
Okay, well,
We're
excellent,
excited about what's to come.
excellent. You definitely have my support. The
I
Community
appreciate that.
Education Network. All right, let's
Yes.
get started with the questions. I'm going to go to the questions that the people sent me, and then we will go to the panel and for people to ask questions. So first question is, how much do supplements work for our health?
Well, supplements, you can say food supplements are just supplementing what we're not getting in our foods. So if you're eating natural, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, and you're drinking lots of water and you're doing juicing, and then as much raw as possible, you don't really need any supplementation. There are some things where we might need a little extra, like say we're under very heavy stress in our jobs or in our relationships, or just, just whatever, just life. A lot of the B vitamins kind of deteriorate, and it also causes a lot of dehydration. So you might want to do like maybe a B complex. That's just something if it's needed. But then you can also exercise and work out. You can go for walks, you can take long baths, you can do meditation, and those are natural ways to deal with the stress. But and then we have situations where, say you live in a very cold environment. As Black people, we might need more vitamin D supplementation. But if you're able to get sun, however, however you get it, whether it's just going outside, you know, when the sun is at its peak, or if you're lucky to be in California, you can get that morning sun. Those are different things you can do, you know, where you don't have to take so much supplementation. So it's important if you're eating like you know, lots of meat, lots of fried foods, lots of sugar, you're drinking alcohol, you smoking, you definitely need supplementation. But if you're doing raw vegan, you really don't need any type of supplementation.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
What is your assessment of our youth health, the youth of today? What are your assessment about their health?
Um, Holistically, dealing with, let's deal with the mind. Mentally, they're dealing with too much stimulations, too much mental stimulation. I mean, we had it with the video games, right? And then, but at least, you know, our parents put some kind of limitation on it, just like I did with my children. I have 6 children. I put limitations on those things. And then TV was also a stimulant, but now we have 24/7 where you have all kind of different apps that you're on, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, you know, YouTube, all these different apps. And then you're looking at a lot of shorts and loops. So you're watching something over and over and over. And it's just a constant where there's so much stimulation where you can't even use your own mind, your own thinking, just naturally. So it's causing a lot of anxiety and depression. I had some family members that was dealing with some depression and was, you know, suicidal. And then when the people came, they were like, you know what? We're getting a lot of calls for children the age between the age of 15 to, I think he said like 25 or a little bit more. And it's just a constant thing. And I have a friend that's a child care development for like, I don't know, over 20 years. And we were just having a conversation one day. She was talking, she wanted to come to Ghana. And then she told me, she said, Sharita, I have to take I have a client in a few minutes, so we have to wrap this up. But so she said, I have this I deal a lot with autistic children. And she had this little boy who was like 4 years old, and she said he knew how to speak Russian. She named 2 other languages, I think Spanish. She named some, but I was stuck on the Russian because I'm like, I said, is he black? She said, yeah, he's a little black boy. So the problem, what she does is she helps the mothers to deal with autistic children. And so this client was her next client. So she has an issue with, so the client said, every time I tell my son to do stuff, and he doesn't want to do it, he starts talking to me in Russian. I was like, well, how did he learn the Russian? He just goes on YouTube. I guess he heard the language, and he just got stuck on just listening to the Russian language, and now he speaks Russian. And so I said, so what do you think is the problem with the autism? Because it's on another level, because you know, a lot of us believe that it's vaccinations and you know, things like that. But she said she totally blamed it on social media, you know, just in her experience. So the social media, it needs to be controlled. I was in Ghana and I was talking to a friend who deals with this young man that's into technology, and we were talking about the the what do you call it? Algorithms? How you call it? What do you say? Algorithms? Am I saying it right? But
Algorithms.
hmm?
Algorithms.
Yeah, algorithms. Yeah. So she said, I said, you know what? We need to do something to where if they look at something that is going to automatically take them into something more positive, or if it's something like it's something where we can control what our children watch. And he talked about in China, they actually do control that, where if you're looking at something, whatever it is, the very next thing is going to be about something that's going to improve your life, improve your community, or improve your country. You see, so they have control of the algorithm. So it always takes them in a positive direction. Even if they look up something that's negative, the next thing is going to take them into a positive direction. You know, so hopefully, and I told her, I said, you know what, we can develop an app. That same guy that you're talking to, he can make an app that he can give to parents where they can download it onto their children's devices. And every time they watch something, it's going to always take them into doing something that's going to be to improve their lives in one way or the other, you know. And but like I said, in China, they took it all the way to the community and in the whole country, you know. So I do believe that that's part of the problem. Another, of course, um, we don't control what our children eat so much as my parents did or I did. Now the children being born my children, my oldest is 33. So that age group, you know, they have children, you know, that's a few years, anywhere from 5 to 10 years now. And they're just not controlling, you know, what they eat. They're not looking at how much sugar they're taking in, the dairy. They're just not thinking about it. It's becoming a little more popular. Somebody said today, it's becoming a little more popular with the people getting into herbs and, you know, things like that because of different people like, of course, like Dr. Goss, but Dr. Sabi is, you know, name is all over the place now. And at least they're kind of paying attention. But like, for example, today was a good example. I had a customer come in today, and he's like, you know, what do you have for the liver? I said, well, you got to tell us a little bit more. I said, what's going on with your liver? And he was holding it off. I said, just so, I mean, we're not trying to get into your business. We just want to know a little bit more so we kind of know the best way to guide you. And so he said, well, he said, just life. He said, just, you know, just life. And I'm just like, okay, well, he said, well, I did have cancer. I had cancer of my liver and I did survive it, but I feel like there's still a little bit more there. This guy didn't look like he was even 30 years old. Right. And so he's also wearing a mask. So I guess he's always trying to protect his immune system. So I told him, I said, well, I told him different herbs. He can take like a milk thistle and dandelion. Told him that I said, are you willing to go raw fruits and vegetables and do a lot of juicing, at least 70%? He said, yeah, I'm already vegetarian for the last 6 years, but he said, but yeah, I can do the raw and I can do the juicing. I said, now, are you dealing with anger issues? Because the liver is connected to anger is connected to the liver as far as emotion. A lot of the different organs are connected to different emotions. So he said, yeah, I'm very angry. And of course, I didn't go into details as to why. I said, so are you working out? And he's like, yeah, I do work out. I said, you know, I would recommend getting into boxing. I was with a trainer out in Ghana and he brought some boxing mittens and then had me to hit, you know, mittens. I think I did one about a good 10 minutes and he was just like, hit harder, hit harder. And I was just like, you know, so I just started thinking about everything that I was mad about, everybody, every person, everything I needed to just get out of my system. And I swear to God, it took out 50 years of anger. I just couldn't believe the difference that it made. It was such a release, such release. And so since then, I tell everybody, get into boxing, get a punching bag, find a friend, you know, go when you're at the gym, see if they got that available and get into boxing. He said, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. I said, I'm telling you, it will work a lot for what you, and then also get into meditation. He said, where I pray a lot. I said, yeah, continue with the praying, but get into meditation music, go to YouTube, put in meditation for the liver. You can just put in anything for respiratory, for the blood pressure. And then let those, because they set them at different frequencies that would help to stimulate the different organs. And so, and then another one, what else I tell him? I said, oh, listen to rain. Just put in, go to YouTube and put in rain meditation and then just listen to the rain and it'll help you sleep sound. And, you know, and so I just giving them some different things, but it's just the fact that what is it that he's so angry about? You know what I'm saying? What is it that he's so angry about? I think their perspective on life, on how things work is kind of not too, I guess I won't want to say incorrect. They're just different. They're just different. You know, we're dealing with cancel culture when it comes down to the youth. They're canceling everything. Anything that, whether it's good or bad to us, anything that they feel is not necessary, they just canceling. They're not dealing with these bad relationships with their parents. They're not staying in relationships, with different mates. They everything goes. Everything goes, then when as far as like the homosexuality is on a whole nother level. I mean, people, the sex changes. I see people coming in my store all the time, and I'm thinking, wow, that's actually a man. They got the implants, they got the hair weave, but it's just so much. It just seems like it's just like a lot of confusion, about because anything goes. So I feel like the mental health is one of the biggest issues because the mind can also affect you spiritually, it can affect you emotionally, it can affect you physically. And a lot of times that's where it manifests first. And then you start having issues in the body, whether it's with the stomach, I'm seeing a lot of youth with stomach problems, with these irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, all these different things, because one thing they have the stress, um, and I feel like it's just a lot. They don't listen to the elders like we used to. With me, I didn't want to have to figure a lot of stuff out. So I had a lot of elders in my life, and I'm talking about friends. I'm not just talking about people who were like aunties and I'm talking about people that I would go and hang out, go shopping. I go to the concert with them. I've gone on vacation, for a couple of weeks with them, just as because they just have, what I'm saying? It's just like they take the guesswork out. You know what I'm saying? I can just say this and be like, girl, please, what are you doing with that? Just do this, da, da, da. And then it's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. But now it's like they want to have their own opinion. They want to be heard, which is fine. But the listening, I think, and what they're listening to is one of the biggest issues. So like they say, one of the healers in Ghana said your mind can heal you or kill you. So I think if we get a hold to their mental health, which we know is very is a pretty much bad mental health is like a virus in our community now. I think if we able to get a hold of that, then we'll be able to get to our youth and then just kind of start gearing them towards, more positive, outlets.
Okay, we're gonna go with one of the panelists right now because I see I want to get to Sandra. Sandra over there seems like she's about to fall out on us. Sandra, can you unmute?
Andrew chilling.
Can you unmute Sandra?
That's all right. I'm gonna be right there with you after this show is over with. I think
Oh,
you're still on mute, Mama.
I don't know if she's able to unmute. Well, when you figure it out, we'll be here for your question because I want to keep you upright. So we'll well when you're able to come off of mute, we'll take your question. Let's go to Brother Omari. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming.
I'm well. How's everybody this evening?
Okay. You have a question for Dr. Sharita?
I don't have a question right now, but I'm sure I will.
Okay. We'll come back to you.
Ronnie told me she was going to be on here, so I just want to be sure to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
I'm waiting for him to come.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's go to Ernest then.
Well, I had one question. You mentioned something about the vitamin D3 because I'm a full-time caregiver for my wife, so I'm inside like 24 hours a day. Very rarely get out, but like I go out every now and then, maybe to empty the trash or something like that and get sunlight that way. But I decided to start taking this 2,000 IUs of vitamin D3 once a day. And I was wondering if that's good or a bad thing.
I mean, it's fine, but is there a way that you can, are you in California?
Yes, in Lakewood here. So
Is there a way that you can maybe be outside a little bit longer, maybe like when she's sleeping? You have like a yard, a backyard or a front yard?
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, because I get good sunlight in the front or the back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think it'd be good for you to as much as possible, at least try to get at least 30 minutes of just, take soaking up the sun, what we call sunbathing. At least. I mean, the more the better, but at least try to get about 30 minutes a day. And then that'll help with the supplementation. And then you can do things like certain foods like green foods will have it in there. And then you can take things like vitamin A to help to absorb it a
Well,
little bit better, or eat carrots.
I
Carrots are
do
high in vitamin.
multivitamin, like the senior citizen multivitamins.
Yeah, but you probably need the multivitamin will be good. Do you have a juicer?
No.
A blender?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe get into doing more smoothies, put more greens.
Oh.
Even with a blender, you can blend up like cucumber and celery and maybe some kale or spinach, put some ginger and some lemon, blend that up, and then you can strain it. And then you can get your juice that way until you're able to get a juicer. But you can get a juicer these days for less than $100. It's a really good investment. And you'll see a big difference in your energy and also the energy of your wife as well.
Well, she's bedbound like since '99. Couldn't walk, So she
Mm-hmm.
lost that ability. So I don't know if it's mental or what. So
Is she able to drink? Is
yeah,
she
she can drink. I usually feed her most of the time, but she can drink. I drink out of these cups with a straw, so she does well with
okay?
that.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, so as much as possible, but definitely for yourself. I know, when it comes down to caregivers, for a family, we get this caregiver burnout.
Mm.
And and it's something that's
That's
real,
real.
because it's hard for you to go do things for yourself, but you have to make sure that you take out some kind of time, for yourself.
I do about one because my daughter will come down. She lives in LA. She'll come down and relieve me for a day. Get out of here. Get out
Yeah,
of
you have
town.
to.
So,
Mm.
Good daughter, good daughter.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very necessary. So try to get at least 30 minutes. And my thing is like supplementation is fine. I mean, look, we have a health food store. We've been doing it for 50 years. So maybe I might be shooting myself in the foot, but we still always encourage people to to do things naturally, through fruits and vegetables, exercise, water, getting out in the sun, socializing with good people, laughter is very, very important. I watch a lot of comedy, I laugh a lot, and it's definitely is medicine, and I think that would help you as well,
yeah, this
just
helps
getting
me
into watching
being
comedy.
on this show on Tuesdays, Wednesdays is a big help. So,
Aw.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
let's get to Sandra.
yeah.
She's unmuted.
I'm unmuted
Oh,
now.
there you go, there you go.
Hi guys. This is awesome. Hi Sharita.
Hi.
Dr. Sharita.
No
I'm
problem.
listening and taking it all in and relating a lot to you, brother. Ernest is your name.
Yeah.
Um, and seeing myself in a lot of what Sharita was talking about, just on my journey for as long as I've been knowing Sharita, I guess. How long, sis? 30 some years. And being on the roller coaster of the discipline.
Oh, that's Sandra, because I can't see you.
That's,
That's
yeah,
my girl. Now I'm seeing you. Okay.
yes. It's like, wait a minute, that's starting to sound familiar. So,
Yeah,
so
we
the,
raise our children together in
yes. Look,
Atlanta.
she have a baby. I have a baby. I have a
Exactly.
baby.
It was
She
just
have a baby.
like
Yeah, but the roller coaster of all those disciplines is somewhat of a challenge, has been a challenge in my life. With the, you know, the strict discipline of knowing how to eat properly, the importance of making sure I feed my children properly. But it can be a roller coaster ride with other things interfering one way or another. Sometimes you kind of go back to what's comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's okay too, because I've done it. In fact, I told at one point, it was like, oh, I've been the full spectrum from vegetarianism back round to bacon, but don't do that. But just the roller coaster of it all sometimes can be a challenge. But one thing is solid and true, is going back to what's natural, with getting outside, the laughter, the exercise, the being around the environment. All that is part of this journey of staying healthy. And I'm just, like I said, I was sitting there listening, and yes, I was chilling a little bit because, you know, it is a little late, and I'm just chilling.
That's right.
However,
You're in Atlanta.
but I'm still there with you and relating to all of it. And brother, and let me just say again about the caregiving. Caring for yourself is part of caregiving, and I've been down that road. I care for my mom. My mother blessed us for 89 years. And she yes, and she transitioned in August. And hearing Sharita talk about, you know, being around her elders. My mom was one of those women that she hung out with, and my mom worked at her restaurant, and my mother grew up in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So it was nothing about vegetarianism growing up that she knew, but she went full circle in her later years, became a vegetarian chef with Sharita. So it can be a full spectrum of all that. So you can, you know, learn and grow at any age to do better. But yes, very brother, true. Take care of yourself as well.
Very important. Self-care is the best care. Self-care is the best care. If you take care of yourself, then you're there to take care of other people. I had to learn that. I think, Sandra, we had to learn that.
Okay.
Every time we coming home from school or basketball practice or somebody piano lesson, dance, something. And I found myself walking in the door with my purse on my shoulder, and I'm going straight into the kitchen to start cooking whatever. And I still got my purse on my shoulder, and then finished making the whole meal. And then I was like, you know what? This has to stop.
Yeah.
So one day I said, you know, I can't do this no more. I said, so I made it to where I would come in, go straight to my room, put everything down, lock the door, tell everybody, give me 30 minutes. Do not knock on this door unless somebody's bleeding or about to die. Other than that, you know, and then, and if they, trust me, if they touch that door, I dealt with them. You know, and I just took the 30 minutes, and it made a big difference, just so you can just center yourself, because all day you're working, you're doing all kind of stuff for everybody, and then now you got to take that time, you know, at the end of the day. So it's very important to take out that time. Yeah, really important. Hey, Sandra, I'm so glad you came on.
All right, let's move.
Yeah, we go way back. And see, and that's the thing. Having friends like that is very important, just to kind of check in every now and then. Like when I go to Atlanta, I make sure, you know, that I connect with Sandra and a couple of our other friends, and it just helps. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going through something, you're like, girl, you don't even know, and then they give you perspective on things, or make you just laugh about it. Remember the last time I was there, I was like, the CKLS, everybody's, you know, I was just like, you know what, they ain't gonna get their CKLS. I was like, F it, you know, she was, and and our sister she said, Sharita, you gotta say that sometime. You gotta do that sometime, you know, because if I'm not around, it ain't gonna get made, and then it's not gonna get done, you know. So it's very important. Self-care is very, very important.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Let's move on. What is good? What is a good herb for arthritis?
We have a combination called ART and a new body line, but alfalfa is one in particular. And you want to do, it's best to do things that will help to build up the alkaline levels in your body. A lot of times when you're dealing with arthritis, it's just like a lot of acid coming from sugar and a lot of starch in the body. So the more you stay away from that, the more greens you eat, as much raw as possible, do a lot of juicing, drink a lot of water, then you start to see those things go away. Just some simple changes. Even if it's just getting a gallon of water in a day, you'll see a big difference after just a week, when it comes down to that. You want to also do things that are like oil based, like hemp oil, flaxseed oil, coconut oil, things like that, where you can help to lubricate, lubricate the body, lubricate the joints. And definitely circulation is very key. So you can do things like peppers, whether it's sweet peppers like bell peppers, or you do cayenne pepper, really hot peppers. Add those to your foods, cayenne pepper, and that will help with the circulation, and that in turn will help with the arthritis. You also have things like let me see, butcher's broom. There's so many different things. Moringa is another one that's good for arthritis. You can do sea moss or Irish moss because it has a lot of minerals, and those things are really good for arthritis as well.
Okay.
But diet is I'm always going to go back to diet. Fresh food is best. Fresh fruits and vegetables is the best way to go when you're trying to reverse any type of disease.
Okay.
And yeah, the discipline, yeah, we know, Sandra, like you're talking about, the discipline is not easy, but I think it makes a difference when you're in different groups. Like in Ghana, that we had something called the sage pot. It was a sister who had a vegetarian meeting group, so we would come together every Saturday, and she had different foods that she was selling. She was a very excellent cook, and we got a chance to socialize with people, and we met people from everywhere because everybody would come, to Ghana from like the UK, from Canada, from the United States, from the Caribbean, and we were able to like support each other, when it comes down to that. So support groups also makes a big difference. Your association makes a big difference.
Okay. Thank you. Sister Lynda, can you unmute? Okay. Brother Ahi, can you unmute?
Is she still there? Oh, okay.
Linda's here. There go Ahi. Ahi, you have a
Yes. I used to have like a Sugar Jones, and I still do. Crave sugar. I would eat like that Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and I would eat like those apple fritters, like double sugar dipped and all that kind of stuff. And it was really starting to tell on my body,
Mm-hmm.
causing a little pain and discomfort when I was walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave sugar up.
Okay, good. Okay.
And like in about 6 months' time, I lost 14 pounds. I'm no longer it's not no longer painful for me to walk and get around.
Yeah.
When I was talking to this brother, and he was like, it wasn't necessarily the sugar. It was the sugar that I was taking, which was granulated sugar.
Yeah, white refined sugar, yeah.
Right. And he was like cane sugar,
Yeah.
and also like the unbleached flour that didn't have all the chemicals and stuff in it. I could still eat the like foods that I crave, but it was a difference in the sugar and the flour. What do you say to that?
Well, sugar, I mean, that's my, I can attest to that. That's me. Sugar. But one of the things that I do whenever I get to the point where I'm eating too much sugar, and now it affects me. Like I can't even get away with eating like heavy sugar. And I do vegan, a lot of my stuff is vegan. You know what I'm saying? So but it's still processed. You know what I'm saying? So the sugar that assimilates into the body, we need sugar, but it needs to be sugar from a fruit, natural sugar. So what I normally do is if I see that I'm going too much into the sugar, I'll start eating watermelon. I'll just eat watermelon like 3 or 4 days straight. And then it helps to set to balance the sugar levels in my body, and then that craving goes away. It literally goes away. If I just try to go cold turkey, just stop eating sugar, that's when you start going through withdrawals, because it is the number one drug on the market. And what happens is you start going through withdrawals just like you would if you like on cocaine. Matter of fact, it's even harder to get off of sugar than it is to get off of cocaine. And so it's best to do something like either, like I said, I do watermelon juice. You can do pineapple. You can do apples, or drink apple juice, or just eat apples. You can do dried fruit like raisins and dried mangoes. Dried apricots. Just things like that. And then the more you get into, like, as soon as you feel like you want a sugar craving, then you make sure that you go to those things. The thing is that you have to be very intentional, because we get into these habits of working, we're going throughout our day, we're cleaning our house, we're doing whatever, and then we just grabbing and just snacking on stuff. We're not even taking inventory on what we're eating. But if you're being more intentional about what you're eating, then it'll make it easier for you to be disciplined. But as far as certain herbs that help you take away those cravings, well, nutrients, you can do chromium picolinate. You can also do vanadium, which is a mineral that really helps with the sugar cravings in the liquid form. Herbs like Gymnea sylvestre is really good. Yuba ursi is really good. Um, I'm trying to think about some other ones. That's off the top of my head. Those are some of the Oh, golden seal. Golden seal is another one that would help with sugar cravings as well. And it will also help with balancing the sugar levels in the body as well. So when the sugar levels are balanced, then that makes it to where you don't have the cravings. Another thing you might want to do is if the person has a lot of yeast or candida in their body, they have strong cravings for sugar. If they have parasites like has a strong cravings for sugar too. So I have one of Rashaki's mentor, the Kanban's Kamal Kanban, his son was always asking me to bring him wormwood or black walnut, because when he gets into these cravings and he wants to eat some sweets, because his daughter's a chef and she makes a lot of baked goods, he'll eat whatever the sweet is, and then he takes the wormwood afterwards, so he doesn't stay on that conundrum of just eating sugar all the time. So you want to look at a parasite cleanse too when you see that you're craving a lot of sugar.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks a lot. Okay, what are the 3 top herbs to help control blood sugar?
Yeah, those are the ones I was just talking about, like the Gymnea sylvestre, the Yuba ursi. Let me see. I had another note here on these other turkey berries, not in Ghana. That's in Ghana. And like I said, doing Gymnea sylvestre, Yuba ursi, um, the chromium picolinate, and vanadium. The vanadium, I found that it worked really fast. Like the liquid vanadium, you can get them at a health food store, and it just keep it with you. And then whenever you having like a sugar craving, first of all, just take it, and then just keep it with them. Whenever you're having a sugar craving, just take that in, and it works really fast as far as getting you off those cravings. But Gymnea sylvestre and Uva ursi is one that I usually recommend to people. And I had another one here. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I had another one because you asked a question before. Hold on one second. Let me look at my notes here. Oh, cinnamon. Yeah, cinnamon. Cinnamon's another one that's really good. And you know, everybody likes cinnamon. You can make it into a tea. You can take it and put it on your oatmeal, or put it in your smoothies. I like to put it in my smoothies. I put nutmeg and cinnamon and ginger in all of my smoothies. And that'll help too with the sugar cravings. And also to help balance the sugar levels in the body too. So really good for people who are diabetic.
An extension of this, the last question. Someone asked, how can I get off of blood pressure meds?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a strong discipline one. It can be done. We help people all the time in a matter of 30 days. And so what we have a formula called BP1 and BP2. One is garlic and cayenne, another one is garlic and parsley. And so, but first we will have you do a detox, do a full cleanse for at least 7 days where you taking a colon cleanse, a blood purifier, a dewormer, and a multi-nutrient. And then you're eating, you're also taking, you're drinking olive oil on the first day because you're going to release a lot of stones, a lot of fats, a lot of waste, a lot of candida, yeast, parasites, you know, all, mucus, and all those things come out. And then you get into, and you still continue to take your blood pressure medicine during that time, the dose that you're supposed to take. But then you're going to start taking the garlic and cayenne combination. So when it comes down to the garlic and cayenne, this is over 30 days. You're going to take the garlic cayenne combination every single day in capsules. You're going to take 3 to 6 capsules a day because it's just food. It's not something that's going to really bother anything. And then that's going to be every day for the 30 days. With your orthodox medicine, you're going to take it the first week, you're going to take it every day. The second week, you're going to take it 4 days. The third week, you're going to take it 3 days. And by the time you get to the 4th week, you're only going to take it 1 time. And then after that, you should be off your blood pressure medicine. Of course, it does make a difference in your diet. You have to, like I said, once you do the detox, you want to stick as close as possible to eating the raw fruits and vegetables, lots of water and juice. You want to make sure that you're doing some kind of exercise or some sort of, whether it's dancing, walking, yoga, or something to help with lowering the blood pressure. And then again, getting into, you know, things like meditation to help to calm the spirit. You can do apple cider vinegar and water to help keep the blood pressure down as well. That can just be something that you just do, you know, every morning to help bring the blood pressure down. And it actually works pretty good. It doesn't keep the blood pressure down, but if you're dealing with a situation where your blood pressure goes up and you need to bring it down, it kind of works like a Band-Aid. You just take about 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to 2 cups of water, and then you drink it down, and then you see how your blood pressure starts coming down right away. But it's mainly making sure that you do opposite of what you did to get in that situation in the first place. A lot of it is, you know, it is our lifestyle that has that. We're not only dealing with the diet side, we're dealing with just being Black in America, just the trauma, you know, that we have to deal with just being Black in America. So we have to find our way to raise our frequency, our vibration levels intentionally all the time, all the time. I start my day every day with pouring libations to the ancestors. That's what sets me. Some people pray, some people are Muslim, some people do different things, you know, to set their day so you can be a little more intentional and a little more focused. And you know, in times, you know, like Sandra was saying, sometimes life happens, things happen, and you know, things change and you can get off balance. But just always remember to go, you know, to get back to self. Always find your way back to self.
Ashe.
I see.
Yes. You know, with that, sis, you guys, if there's not any more questions or anything, I'm gonna exit the call.
I know it's
Okay.
You know,
late.
I don't want y'all to catch me drooling. But no, this has been great. I appreciate all the information. I appreciate sharing. And sis, you keep doing what you're doing. I love you.
I love you, Black.
Yes.
That's
All
my heart
right.
right there.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming. We still have questions. We have other people we got to get to. Thanks for
Okay.
coming.
Peace
All
out.
right.
All right. Take care, love.
Marquet, can you unmute, please? Marquet.
Oh, I can I ask my question? I've unmuted, figured it out.
Yes. Go ahead,
Okay, thank
Lynda.
you. Thank you. Just real quick, what about a post-stroke and I still have paralysis on my left side, on my arms and my hands, and I've done acupuncture, occupational therapist, everything. Do you have anything that you can recommend to me?
What kind of diet do you have? Are you vegetarian or you
No,
eat?
I'm just starting to eat to live these days. I'm just learning.
Okay. I would advise getting into like when you're trying to really reverse something that's like so traumatizing to the body, juicing seems to be the fastest. You know what I'm saying? The fastest way to go. You know, doing at least 70%, you know, of the juicing. That so and especially green juices. And in the green juice, like me, I'm not really big on green juice as far as me, I'm taking it in and liking it. So what I learned to do was take lemon, celery, and cucumber and ginger and have it as my base, right? And then you can add in, you know, your kale or your spinach or your chards, or if you can get moringa, it's hard to get fresh moringa here, but some people do have some trees. You can get just the different greens. It could even be the spring salad mix, you know, that you buy in the store for salad. You can
Okay,
even
yeah.
mix that in there too. And then get in and let that be something that you do on a regular basis, at least a liter minimum. At least you can do more, but at least a liter a day. And
Okay.
then also get into your coconut water.
Oh, okay.
Getting to doing you know, like whether it's pineapple juice or doing mango, doing smoothies, you know, things like that. But try to do as much raw as possible when it comes down to that. Now we have a formula called NBS that will work with the nervous system.
Okay, are you saying N as in Nancy?
N is in nervous, as in
Oh,
Nancy,
Nancy.
yeah.
Mhm.
In NBS,
Mhm.
that will work with the nerve system.
Mhm.
Then we also have some called FEY. Now, FEY means forever young. This was a formula that was actually made by Dr. Goss for a person who came to him with stroke. He came rolling in the wheelchair. I don't know how long he had the stroke, but when he came to him, he was in the wheelchair. And he put him on the diet. He made sure he was very strict about the diet. He took the FEY formula every day, and the man started walking. He started walking. You know, I do see I think sometimes people feel like once you have a stroke that that's it, that's, you know, but I remember in Ghana, I went to go visit a friend, and she she said, yeah, you remember so and so, she came went with us to the funeral, to Ima's funeral. I was like, yeah, I remember her. She said she just had a stroke
Hmm.
a few days ago. And I was like, wow, like a week prior. And then she said, but she's doing so good. A herbalist came from the mountain, came down from the mountain. He gave her some medicine. The way they give medicine sometimes is that they actually, the inoculation actually comes from out of Africa, you know, when it comes out to vaccinations, but not what we're doing today. So what they would do is they take the blade and put these little cuts into the skin, and then they take the herbs and rub it into the skin. So that's what he had came down to do. So when I walked over to go, because the lady lived like, it was in walking distance, and we went to go see her, she's sitting there washing clothes and sitting. I'm just thinking, I said, you sure she had a stroke? She said, yeah, just the other day she couldn't, her arm was numb and she couldn't do anything with her arm. I think her whole side was messed up. And and he came down, he did his thing, and just like that, almost like instantly. I think it just took a couple of days, and then she was almost back to normal. You can still tell that she had something going on, but the way she was way better than I mean, in other words, if I didn't know her, I wouldn't never thought anything was wrong. It's only because I knew her from before that I can tell that something was a little off, but it was amazing, you know. So I always like to let people know that there is hope, but you do have to be very disciplined. And then also the physical therapy. Do you do any type of physical therapy?
No, I haven't because of the insurance, but I will do it. I'm just starting, got the referral last week to do aqua therapy in the
Okay,
water.
so okay, aqua therapy is very, very good. I like water therapy. I think it works faster, even when it comes down to losing weight and gaining muscle and things like that, or getting in shape. I find that people who do swimming a lot, they don't really have to do much else, like lifting weights and things like that. But you don't have to wait for your insurance because I mean, hey, everything is on YouTube now, YouTube University. So you
Right.
can go and look up a person who is into physical, just Google physical therapy or go on YouTube and search physical therapy and maybe put physical therapy for a stroke. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yes,
And
I
then see
will.
what comes up. You're
Definitely.
gonna find several people that's gonna be able to help you to do certain things. You know, and if you have any family member that's with you, they can help you along the way, like maybe moving your arm, your legs, or whatever part of the body isn't
Right, I just got
you know,
complacent. That's all, but I'm doing everything now as much as possible.
yeah, yeah. How
Like
long has it
doing
been?
life, yes.
How
Seven
long
years.
has it been?
7 years.
Oh,
Too
7 years.
long.
Okay. And you're not seeing any improvement at all?
Well, not in my arm and my hand, but everything else I still keep doing. I just don't use the left one.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Getting into massage, like I just bought this new massager, like less than $60. And it has all these different pieces on there. And then, you know, that helps with the stimulation as well, with the circulation.
Mhm.
So get into doing that. You can also do something like take cayenne pepper, like maybe like a half a teaspoon, and
Mhm.
then put it in uh, a cup of 2 cups. I'm sorry, 2 cups of olive oil or avocado oil,
Really?
almond oil, something like that. Or you can put it in
I'm writing
shea
it all
butter.
down.
Yeah, and then you can take that and just be massaging it into the areas that's feeling numb.
Really? Okay. Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
get that
Well, I
circulation.
can't even feel it anything on my left arm or my hand.
Yeah, but your other hand, your right hand you can use,
Oh,
right?
yes. Definitely.
Yeah, so use that to massage, you know, the left arm and the
Mhm.
hand.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do that. I like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. But really just know that diet is going to be a big part. Drink lots of water. Sometimes one thing a lot of people and this is your I think little short what's the name is your brother, right? Reginald
Reggie,
Muhammad is
yes,
your
he
brother.
is. Yes.
Yeah, so he was talking the other day about, you know, different things that Dr. Goss had helped him to do. And then I told him, I said, you know, he was really good about just telling people go home, drink a gallon of water, put a little lemon juice in there, and then lay down. And then your headache will go away. You know what I'm saying? Instead of selling him, he could have easily just sold him something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just or I think he told him he had something with what was it? Some I think some bald spots or something that was coming in his head, and he said, "Oh, you're lacking protein. Go eat some pumpkin seeds." And then just like that, and then he could have sold him some product. You know what I'm saying? But he was really good about really helping people to pay attention to how they're living, how they're eating, the people that's in their environment. You know, getting yourself out of situations that are not good for you,
Okay.
and then helping you in a holistic way, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to always selling you some kind of product or pill, which
Right,
is
right,
probably the reason why we struggling to get this $2 million, because if we did it that way.
right, right. Now you mentioned I already drink spring water, but you were saying you mentioned coconut water. Do
Coconut water
you,
is really, really good. One thing about juices,
Mhm.
um it really helps to hydrate the body faster than even spring water. You'll see a big water is really good. I do believe in, like, I have one of my teachers who don't drink water. He hasn't drunk water in 45 years. But at the same time, I understand what he's talking about. I did a cleanse with just doing coconut water like 7 days. I had the most energy I ever felt in my whole life. Now, was it easy? The first 3 days was rough. just to do coconut, but after about day 5, 6, it became easier. And then I just stopped because my thing was I was just going to do it for 7 days just to see how it was. But I had the most energy and the hydration, my skin, I mean, everything, you can just tell it was a big difference. So doing fruit juices is really good. Coconut water is considered, I guess, fruit. But anything that's packaged by the Most High, in other words, when you open up your package, you should be peeling off, skin,
Okay.
as opposed to tearing open a plastic bag. That's
Okay,
going to be the difference.
okay, just one other a whole nother direction. You mentioned about retreats. Are you doing any retreats or in United States? I know you
We're
in
we're
Ghana.
probably gonna be getting some retreats going in North Carolina because we got everything set up over there. We just had it's just that it's been other people doing retreats. Like we had somebody who celebrated their birthday, and I think he was some kind of spiritual healer or something like. I'm not sure what he did, but he I think it was his second year. He brought about maybe 20 people. But we're gonna start doing retreat. We used to do 3 a year in North Carolina. So that's where my mother is. My mother's 88 years old right now. And even though she did help put all the stuff together, got everything renovated. I still, I don't want her doing the heavy work that she used to do, back in the day. So we're trying to get some people on that side in North Carolina and maybe Atlanta to help with putting the retreats together, and then we'll start the retreats again.
Awesome. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just to make sure
Arizona
on
is
your
going to take a
mailing
little
list.
while, but
I just
Arizona,
gotta
we're
make sure
working
I'm
on
staying
that
on your
now.
mailing
But it's
list.
going to take a little while for Arizona.
Okay, thanks a lot. Diana Kimble, would you unmute, please? Just listening.
Which
Okay,
Diana is that?
I don't know. Kimble.
Hey, I got you.
Oh,
Diana lives in Diana that lives in.
Oh yes, Dinah. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I know that name. How are you? You up late?
No, I'm in Louisiana. My oldest sister passed away,
Oh,
and they
sorry.
had
My
a
condolences.
funeral on the Saturday. So I was just scrolling through and saw that you were on. I know I had texted you and asked you about when you were going to start back while I was in Ghana, but I'm going back to Ghana at the end of November. And thank you. I'm taking all that in. Since I've been here, my blood pressure has been up.
Oh
And
well.
you just told
Hello.
me to fix that.
You know where you at?
Yeah, so you just told me how to fix that. So I'm going to do the quick one in the morning and do the apple cider vinegar and pick
Yeah.
up 40,
And then you
40.
do a lot of walking, don't you? Aren't you like? Don't you walk a lot?
I had been, but I'm not since I have not since I've been here. Yes, walking up to the road to take a drop. Walking to get the trotro. Yes, love it.
Yeah. So you know what to do. You just gotta get into you take that walk because you're dealing with a situation. It's hard when you have lose a loved one and then the whole arrangements with family and funerals and that whole thing. It gets to be a lot. It can be a lot of stress. You definitely take that walk every
Okay.
morning. Just get up and take that walk. I think the weather should be still okay over there. I know the rain is probably coming.
Yes.
I think but my mother's side is from Louisiana, Baton Rouge. So I know
Oh, okay.
Louisiana well. Well,
All
Baton
right.
Rouge, I won't say Louisiana, I know Baton Rouge really well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good place.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks for
right.
coming on, tuning in.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Brother DX. Brother DX.
And just thank you for all the information you gave
Yes,
me.
sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, greetings, everyone. Greetings, greetings,
Greetings,
greetings.
greetings.
Yes, Sister Sharita is indeed an honor. You don't really know me, but man, like I've been using New Body products probably since the late 90s. Um,
Okay. We
when
appreciate
it
you.
when your father was doing the retreats, I remember, I'm gonna tell a little quick story. I remember uh we used to in Arizona used to let us pick some of the herbs and stuff, and then he would do these lectures. And I remember I was already like eye tile, with what I was doing and how I was moving.
Mhm.
But one of the one of the people that asked him in the lecture, and this is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Is he said they asked if fish was okay to eat, right? And
Oh, okay. I know where you're
was
going, but I'm gonna
always
let you tell the story.
he was always like, well, I'll tell you what, he said, get your notepads out, right? So everybody got their notepads out and stuff, few people that did eat fish or whatever. And he says, I'm gonna give y'all this perfect recipe. And everybody was like, oh wow, Dr. God's about to give a fish recipe. So
Right,
so
right.
like looking at each other like, what? So he says, okay, first thing you want to do is get you a pine board. And then people was writing down pine boards, like, what kind of pine? He said, it don't matter, just gotta be a pine board. And then he was like, and you gotta get a fresh fish. You gotta make sure that it's a freshwater fish, bass, this, that, da, da, da. People was writing all this stuff down. He's like, you get cayenne pepper, you get you some fresh onions, you cut up the onions real small and fine. And then he was like, you get your pepper, you cut up your pepper. He was like, get your oregano, you want a teaspoon of oregano. He went through like 15 ingredients these people was writing down, right? And at the end of it all, he said you put it in the oven, you let it cook for exactly 20 minutes, you take it out with the fish, the pine board, all the ingredients, everything, scrape it in the trash, eat the pine board because it's better for you.
Yes. Scrape
I
it in
was
the
like,
trash,
yo,
eat the
I
pine
fell on the
board.
floor. Man, people was like, what? They did all that right. Some people was upset. But I just want to commend you in what you've been doing for so many years, and I support
Oh,
you
thank
very
you.
well. Matter of fact, I have a CBD store here in Atlanta, and I'm using
Oh, you know that?
CBD now to
Okay.
lower cortisol and help people with their blood pressure, along with stress, as well as pain. The oil is also used for pain and other forms of healing. So
Yeah.
I'm also a sound
I know it'd
therapist.
be
I'm
good for
a
stroke too. I've heard people use it for stroke as well.
Yeah, my father actually he had a stroke and we utilized I had to detox him of course, but he was kind of a little rebellious about it. And of course the diet has always been my
Mm-hmm.
thing
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to, helping people. But uh I used the of course like CKLS and like bee pollen and the 4PG and garlic, and he
Mm-hmm.
hadn't had a stroke since.
Mm-hmm.
Cleansed them out, and then my mom was very strict with the diet, cause that's always important. Make sure we was juicing the like blah, 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 celery and apples and stuff like that for him. You know what I mean? He did it for
Mm-hmm.
a while, and then like most people, once they start feeling better, they
Right.
go back to some of their old habits,
Yeah.
and I think it's really
Yeah.
important that, like, when I counsel people, that this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle. Like, once
Mm-hmm.
you cross a certain threshold, it's certain
Yeah.
things you shouldn't want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
pastas and the cheese and the
Right.
bread and all
Yeah.
that stuff, man. The
Yeah.
hydrogenated cornstarch, like whatever it is, it's not food. You know,
Right.
like when
Right.
you look at the ingredients on certain stuff and you realize like we're not supposed to be eating any abominable thing, but it's all in the book. So
Mm-hmm.
when you compare man's food to God's food, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's always been my perspective, especially when it comes to healing and helping people, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
said, like what's the peel? That was like what you peeling off or is you opening up a bag, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's big
Yeah.
different. So I just want to say thank you and just share that story, and we really appreciate you, and just keep up the excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being one of the soldiers, because this work is not easy. We need as many people in the field as possible. We need all the warriors,
It's
because
not.
we had this pandemic and we think that it's not gonna happen again, but there's another one coming and it's gonna come stronger. And we have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually sound in order to be able to deal with it. So it's
Yeah.
like I said, it's not easy. Discipline is and addiction is one of the things that I'm trying to do more research on, because I feel like once we get to the point where we can help people with addiction, because addiction is real. It's
Yes, it
real.
is.
And if we and I'm just looking at, I remember watching I went to Thailand and I went into a lot of those Buddhist temples, And then I just went into just on YouTube, just doing research on, the monks and, just going into the temples, and so you can be able to stay there. They have different ones where you can come and stay for a week, 2 weeks. They give you different things to do while you're there. So I was watching this one video. I think I'm still even have it on my computer. And this guy went there, this white guy, he went there looking to get rid of his drug addiction. And so he told him, he said, "You're not addicted to the drugs. You're addicted to your emotions." And that's what kind of set me on the path to try to figure this thing out. Being addicted to your emotions. Some people are addicted to drama. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to give up, their way of thinking and their perspective, and they like to feel sad. You know what I'm saying? They like to cause, drama. They like to be negative, So when he said that you're addicted to your emotions, I was like, okay, so when we work on the emotional side, then we can deal with the addiction. Yeah,
Have
so
you
that's
ever
still.
heard of? I wanna just interject just a moment. You ever heard of psychoneuroimmunology?
No.
Okay, so psychoneuroimmunology is basically think and be well. It's like when the body creates its self-healing mechanism, like our immune system, how it's activated with the defense of parasites, or even how the brain functions in certain ways to create chemicals in the body, whether it's serotonin, whether it's adrenaline, or whatever it is. Um, the body itself can create whatever it needs at a particular time to, fix itself.
Yeah,
Right
okay.
now, we're using like sound therapy, like different frequencies activate different parts of the brain. Like
Yes.
when you hear certain sounds, or even like the aromatherapy is the same way. Like you smell the bread or something that your mom cooked from back in the day, and it automatically gives you a certain feeling. That
Yes.
feeling is chemical, like the dopamine what people get
Yeah.
when they do drugs. So if you can create the dopamine feeling without the drug, then that's a part of like fixing the addiction. I have a few people that are actually using like some of my Delta 9 products, but they also come to like our vibratory sessions, and they say it's been helping them to like really like fight those cravings and things. So it's it's not gonna be like how they presenting it, like giving you a smaller dosage or putting you on something else. It actually is almost a form of a cold turkey, in the sense that you lose the cravings or you lose the sensation, and finding other ways to compensate that, the dopamine or whatever it is that that you're looking for.
Yeah, and then things like ashwagandha, which is like
Right,
adaptogen herbs, like the
right.
ginsengs, ashwagandha, you know, um, the maca, which is also in the ginseng family. Those things also help too, the adaptogens, you know. But yeah, and I do believe in sound therapy. I talked about it earlier, dealing with meditation music, and looking for things like, I know when my blood pressure, like I can relate to Diana, because every time I come to America, I tell people I'm addicted to I am allergic. I'm sorry, I'm allergic to this place. I had a cousin, my sister said, "You need to stop saying that, because so maybe, it's your words." I say, yeah, words are spells. But it is, this place is just not, especially right now, it's just not for human beings. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
You mean herbs
so I
itself,
have to do a lot. I have to do a lot to keep myself, on a higher frequency. And and it's not easy, because I have a lot of responsibility here. And you know, but I do have friends, I have people close to me that, you know, check me and check on me. And that makes a big difference too, to make sure that somebody's like, oh, did you do this? Did you do that? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You know, it makes a big difference. So it's good to, being sociable is very important as well. It's very important not to just be alone and do things alone. You know, so I do recommend people just be a part of something, like people come to this podcast 2, 3 times a week, you know, as something to do, or just joining, you know, even if it's just like doing some line dancing, you know, you're going for the dancing, but there's also a lot of networking and you know, being able to socialize, you know, with good people. And yeah, and it's just, and then also, you know, we need to always going to push, you got to come home to Africa. You got to get to Africa. You have to come home to your mother.
But
And
it, well,
it's life
yeah,
changing. I don't care what nationality you are. Even white people come there and they're just like they're another person, because they also get to see what their ancestors did. You know, and how one lady, I was in a castle dungeon one time, and she was white. She was in another group, because I never move with white people in the castle dungeons. I just think it's dangerous because people go through
right.
spells and all kind of stuff. So, but she said she just started crying. And the tour guide was like, I need you to calm down and stop on, because I can't get through, you know, with the rest of the tour. She said, I know, I know. And she said, it's just that I just know that everything that I have today, all the privileges and everything that I have today is because of what my ancestors did here long ago. And I just feel so bad. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was thinking to myself, good.
Give up your purse,
So
lady. What you
bad.
got? Let's go to the bank. Let's go to the ATM. Let's
Exactly.
figure it
If
out.
you're really feeling bad, thank you. Yeah, you see, we on the same
You got
mind.
a
You know, I
boat,
lived
you
in
got a
Atlanta,
house,
so we
what you
must have the
got? You got a
same.
car, what you doing? Your husband got a business, what we doing?
Exactly. I got some
Okay,
children over here need
so,
some school fees to go to school. They need some
You know?
clothes, you know, whatever.
okay,
Yeah, but yeah, but it is it is life changing to go back home and put, you know, where I always say that if you take a flower out of Africa and put it in California, it's still going to grow. It's still going to do its thing, but it's not going to do the same as it does when it's in Africa. It's not going to flourish as
Mm,
much. You know what
I
I'm
have,
saying?
yeah, I take a little different perspective for me
yeah, but
personally
see,
right now.
we don't
But
want
we
to
don't
go
want to get
there
into that. We
tonight.
don't want me to get into that.
Hello,
So let's
no,
go to something else. But
no, no, no.
I'm 100% Atlantis. I'm 100% Turtle Island. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so
Africa's the
listen,
sister,
Oh, I
on
feel
that.
we
that
So
got,
too, brother. You know,
excuse
I
me.
lived in Atlanta for 20 years. I
yeah.
lived there
Oh,
for 20 years. So I told you, if I had to live in America and where I had to, like I'm in California because I have to be, but
man,
if I had to live anywhere, it would be Atlanta.
I
okay,
mean,
That's where I
just
raised
the
my
continent
children.
itself.
okay.
Turtle Island.
I
I feel
appreciate it.
like the home.
Let's move on. We got two more people I want to get to before we end this evening,
Yep.
folks. I
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate it, brother DX. Um, Omari, did you come up with a question that you may want to ask?
I came on a little late. Dr. Sharita was speaking when I came on. So I don't know if I caught the beginning. I think Ronnie told me that they're getting ready to open up a restaurant in Compton.
Well, we're going to be, yeah, I did talk about them again. We're now in 3 locations where we have our manufacturing, we have our health food store, then we have our new body distribution office where we ship out to our distributors. And so we, before Dr. Goss made his transition, in 2020, we bought a building that's right there on Compton Boulevard, 437 West Compton Boulevard. And so now we're in the process of renovating. We're actually about to do some demolition next week on one of the buildings. And, you know, but so basically, instead of being in 3 different places where we've been renting all this time, now we have a building of our own, and we're going to have everything in that one place: the manufacturing, the office, so it's not going to be, we're not going to necessarily do a restaurant, but we're going to have, you know, fresh food made every day like we used to.
Right.
And then you'll be able to come and just, you know, just grab food, grab juices and things like that. But not a restaurant. That's a little taxing. But we are going
Okay.
to have fresh food every day. Yes. Yes.
So Ronnie and I have been talking to Adonijah and Dr. Relaford about bringing a wellness store into the Hyde Park area of LA. And I'm certain that we would like to carry that new body product line in the store. So
Oh, for sure, for sure.
We'll be getting with you guys to see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, we're doing a membership drive right now. It's $60 to sign up, and you pay annually $10 a year renewal fee, and or you can get a lifetime distributorship for $120, and then you don't have the renewal fee. And you do $100 or more a month, then you get bonuses. So we, it's something where you can take care of yourself, but you can take care of others, and make some money at the same time.
Okay, all right.
Your health is your wealth.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And which Ronnie are you talking about? Light skinned Ronnie?
Yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
he came to Ghana. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that Ronnie.
Yeah, okay. I always forget his last name. Yeah. Give him the greetings.
Ronnie Forrest.
Forrest, okay. Okay. All right.
So I want to go to Marquet. Marquet, are you able to unmute? Did you have a question?
No. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
No, good evening. I'm just enjoying the program. Dr. Sharita sent the link to me. She's my boss. So
yeah,
I
Dr.
wasn't
Marquette is the one you're gonna hear on the phone when you call new body.
Thank you for calling Newbody. How can I help you?
Yes.
But I'm just really enjoying everything that I'm hearing about. I've heard some of it before, but I like to be refreshed. So I wasn't able to answer earlier.
Uh-oh. What happened?
You got muted again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess the screen switched. But I'm just enjoying everything, and I just look forward to being able to be on again. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Marquette's been with us for a couple of years, and she be handling that. She be handling our customers, man. They said sometimes it can be rough, but yeah, we appreciate her. She stands strong. One of our soldiers there. Yes.
Right.
Thanks for coming on.
Joining up the new, we just click on new body.
So you can go to let me see if I can put it inside the chat, newbodyproducts.net. Can I put the chat on?
Go ahead.
What?
And I'll pull
Oh,
it
you
up.
had to open it. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But did you put it there?
I'm putting it there. New body.
And I'll pull it up.
Body products.
Professor Rod, did you have any questions before we leave out?
Appreciate what been said, if I understand correctly. Want to say something to all the guests tonight, and thank Dr. Sharita and her family for being an institution in the community, focusing on health and nutritional eating. I just want to ask a couple of questions quickly. Are there any studies? I mean, when you're dealing with eating nutritionally, vegetarian, compared to American diets or Chinese diets or other culture diets, is there any study on longevity? Because there's some people who have a lot of soil, and so I guess they call it soy, and they eat a lot of salt, seasoned food, and they have longevity in life. Is the purpose of eating nutritionally to make you feel better and live a healthy life as long as you live? Or is there any studies that say that if you be a vegetarian, you live longer than people that eat other foods?
Yeah, I mean, I find that if you're a vegetarian and you're eating live foods, you know what I'm saying, foods that are fresh. One of my best examples is Dr. Aris Latham, who we had on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he's originally from Panama, Jamaican heritage, and he's been He's been vegetarian, I think 50, I think 40, but think about 40 years raw, where he hasn't eaten any cooked food, and he hasn't drinking any water. He's only doing coconut water and juices. And this man is 78. Yeah, he's 78. And he's still climbing coconut trees. He's jogging every day. You know what I'm saying? He's Vero. You know what I'm saying? He has lots of energy, and his mind is really, really sharp. And and then if you compare him to like his brothers and sisters, and even some of his children, because I think he has 9 children, he's even more youthful than his children. So it makes a difference. But if you're eating like a lot of processed food, like you were talking about the soy, or just processed food in general, it's going to make a difference. Because the one thing about vegetarians, we do eat a lot of processed foods. You know, a lot of fake meats and things like that, because we're trying to cross. So I call those crossover foods. So it's fine when you're just trying to get rid of the meat and you're crossing over, but you have to keep advancing. You know, in your diet, you have to make sure that you're cleansing, because you still have environmental toxins as well. And then it also makes a difference. I've met vegetarians that had horrible attitudes. You know what I'm saying? They just weren't correct. You know what I'm saying? They just, everything was just, you know, down or negative, and they end up having problems, because it's not only about eating the fresh foods, it's also what you're listening to, who your environment. You know what I'm saying? Some people live in very toxic environments. I remember one place in Atlanta where this client that came to my father when he came to visit, and she was saying that about 50% of the people on her street had cancer. But then they did their research to come to find out that it was a heavy radiation in their area. You know what I'm saying? Due to, I'm not sure what it was. I don't know if it was a tower or whatever, but they had a lot of radiation. And then once they figure out what was going on in the environment, then he was able to deal with it a little bit better. Of course, everybody can't just get up and just move, you know, but at least if you know what's happening, you know how to counteract it. So, but as far as studies, I can't say like what's out there on the internet or whatever. I'm just looking at, you know, through my experience and looking at, you know, different clients and looking at a lot of my teachers, and then seeing which ones, and I told Dr. Reese, I said, even when it came down to my father, Sabi, all these different people, all of them knew that his way was the best way to go when it came down to food. But when it came down to, but we also have to deal with, you know, our spiritual connection, regardless of what religion or non-religion, but just how we are in alignment with the universe, in alignment with so-called God, in alignment with the with creation. Those different things make a difference too. Also, people who exercise a lot. I have a friend that works out 6 days a week, and she's not vegetarian. She eats she doesn't eat a lot, but she does eat meat. She might eat some starch and things like that, but and then she doesn't eat late, but she works out every single day. So whatever she does eat, she's sweating it out. You know what I'm saying? It also makes a difference in your digestion, you know, when you're working out. So she's able to have proper bowel movements and things like that. And then she'll get her greens in, but not as much as she wants to, you know. But I did see that it did make a big difference also being physically active too.
What about veggie burgers and veggie meats and things of that nature that they got out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's something that's, I look at that as a crossover food. Something that you're trying to come off of eating meat, but you still have the taste for the burgers and things like that, and you can eat that, but then you have to eventually graduate from that, because those things, you know, it's not real food. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's processed. I mean, some of these meats, like this Beyond Burger and the Impossible meat, they said it took 19 different scientists to put it together. Well, you need to do that. I can make a veggie burger in my own kitchen. I can take black beans. I have one where I do you can do black bean burgers, black eyed pea burgers, lentil burgers, and all it is just the bean, with some seasonings, put your onions and, garlic and your seasonings in there, and maybe add in, I would use like either, like some spelt flour or quinoa flour or some sort of flour, and then I put it together in a patty, and then I either bake it or I fry it. And that way I know exactly what's in there. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going to do a veggie burger, it should be something like that if you're going to be doing something on a regular basis.
What about people that eat fish and chicken and turkey and think that they're eating nutritionally?
Well, you'll come to find after a while that they're going to start having problems from the uric acid that's in the meat. Because see, people thinking that they're getting protein, that's the only way to get protein. But anything that is alive has protein. So if you look at it, the protein that well, first of all, the meats that we're eating are vegetarian animals, right? Those animals are eating the grass, they're eating the grains. And so they're getting the protein from that. So why do we need to get a third-class protein? You just go straight to the source. So what happens is the people with the meat, they start to build up this uric acid in their body, and that turns into different diseases. It makes things hard, makes the organs hard. It messes up the circulation. It causes high blood pressure. And especially like I say, if they're working out, they might kind of get away with it. But and then also they might go into saying that we bake it or I take the skin off, and things like that. And I don't really try to force people into changing their diet. I stopped that a long time ago. Only thing I feel like I need to do is give you an informed decision to make. Give you the information out there, and then you make your decision based on that. And you have your experience. I tell people just try it for a week. Go 1 week without eating meat and see how you feel.
Do you see any substantial change in people focusing on eating better? In other words, when you drive down the street, you pass these fast food places. There are people parked in line around the block.
Yeah.
Is there any studies, or not studies, but in your, are you seeing an increase in people trying to get off of that and coming into the?
I think people, yeah, because I see, like even today we had this plumbing issue. So the plumber, he said, "What do you guys do here?" I told him what we did. He said, "You know what? It's like more people are getting into that." Now he seemed to be about 35. He said it seemed like we go through these waves or people want to get into the health kick and then they get off and come back and forth. But he said it's making a very strong comeback because the food has way more chemicals in it than it did before. When you were 10, 20 years old, the food is way different than what it is today. You see what I'm saying? So you'll start seeing people, especially people who work in those places. I have one sister, she started working at a fast food place, and she was eating the food every day. And then she got to the point where she was so constipated, she hadn't went in 2 weeks. She didn't have a bowel movement in 2 weeks. It got to the point where the bowels reversed. I had never heard about nothing like that until I met this girl. Her bowels actually reversed and came out the other way because it wouldn't go the other way. Just constant, and then she had gained a lot of weight, So, and the reason why she came to the store because somebody told her, "Oh, well, let's see if we can get your bowels moving." But it's not something that, it's something you're just doing here and there. There's one thing, but it shouldn't be your everyday thing. You should be able to go home and cook or prepare fresh, food, fresh fruits and vegetables. So, I think a lot of people are becoming more aware because of social media, and there's a lot of things that are out there, a lot of different health, experts and people who have actually made their transitions and they're sharing, and lots of recipes out there. So there's really no excuse today not to be able to take care of your health. You don't necessarily need a doctor anymore. A lot of information is right there online. And then we have people in our environment that can attest, to making these changes.
Okay, again, I want to thank you. I knew your father when he first started. I mean, Dr. Goss when he first started, and back in the day. And he's a good brother, and we miss him surely.
Yeah.
And we're glad you picked up the banner and kept running with it and keeping the store open and keeping the business going.
Yeah. I tell people I've been there the whole time. This ain't something you can just come and pick up. This is some serious work. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, we have to yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a mandate. It's not something I don't feel like I have a choice. I feel like I have one of my daughters my oldest daughter, she was born a healer. She came with the touch, you know, from out of the womb. And she's, you know, going through some changes. And I said, if you got on your healing path when you're healing other people, and when she was doing it, everything was wonderful. But now that she's kind of off, all kind of things are going off for her. You know, things are not going well. But she can tell me, like she was the one. She looked at me, and I was having these issues, and I said, she said, she just took her finger, and went up and down like that. She said, "Mom, you're dealing with a thyroid issue. You need to focus on your thyroid." And then I thought, you know what, you're right. Why? Because I'm trying to do this deductive reasoning. And then when she said that, boom, it was right on point. She's just really good at just looking at somebody and telling them what's wrong with them. And then telling them what to do about it. You see what I'm saying? But she hasn't been on her path. So I feel like if I decide that I'm like, you know, well, forget it, I'm tired, I'm defeated, you know, I don't think it's gonna work out well for me. So I'm doing it. This is a mandate. I don't have a choice.
Right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And I guess we're gonna we're gonna take our pause for this evening. And Dr. Sharita is one of our teammates, so she's definitely gonna be back to answer more questions and share with us. And then we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Next week, I have a professional coming on for he's a mental health specialist. So that'll be our guest for next week.
One question for Dr. Sharita, is that 437 West Compton Boulevard?
Yeah, that's where we're gonna be moving to.
Anywhere near Alameda or Santa Fe?
Yeah, it's between Wilmington and Willowbrook, as far as the bigger streets.
Okay.
Or even closer, I think like Acacia might be even closer, if you know Compton.
Right.
But that's where we're going to be moving into the new location. Like I said, we're still looking at in the process of getting funding, you know, talking to different banks. And then but right now we're still in our location at what's our address? 523 West Compton Boulevard is where the store is. And then you can come there. Pretty much you can any information you need, you can just come to the store and then we'll help you out from there.
Is 437 where the drugstore used to be next to the pawn shop?
It used to be a church outreach center. It's right next to a towing company.
Yes.
We share a wall with a towing company.
Yeah, I know exactly. They had
and then our New Body Products office is directly across the street where we currently are.
Right. Okay.
So next week I have a guy named Daryl Brooks coming on, and then Professor Rahh. I'm gonna get with Professor Rahh and see what we're doing next Tuesday. So I appreciate everybody's.
But don't you have something coming up on?
Oh, we got
Reggae tomorrow.
We got the Roots Reggae reasoning sessions, and let me share that. I'm glad you said something. It's good to have a team. Definitely. So let me share it. Here it is right here. And we've been getting really good guests that's in the reggae world. And I'm just elated to have Sister Mashariki Raimi and Jen J. Dennis as the co-host, because they're really doing a great job with getting these great artists. So let me share this. and great people, just personalities in the reggae world. So here's the guest. His name is Stevie Tiger Tone Verholt, and he's a reggae guitarist. And he's been working with some of the legendary greats, Gregory Isaacs, Barrington Levy, Marcia Griffiths, John Paul, and a whole bunch of other people in reggae. So he's a real well-renowned reggae guitarist. So that's our guest tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And just how you got on this evening, you can get on the same way.
Oh, okay.
Join Zoom meeting right there.
All right.
So I appreciate you, Dr. Sharita, and all you do to help us here with the Community Education Network and the world community with health. Ernest McBride for continuously coming to be with us and share your wisdom and knowledge. Omari Bakari, always around, doing his thing, a technological genius. Sister Marquet, Professor Rahh, Brother DX, and Diana Kimble. Everybody have a great evening, and we will do this tomorrow and next week. Take care, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.